Hello and welcome everybody, I'm One Proper Varian and today we return here to Manor Lords, where we have now successfully created a very prosperous region, and yet we haven't even built a single level 3 house. That is of course something that I want to do right here in our newly founded location, our newly founded, well, wannabe city. We're not quite there yet, there are still plenty of buildings that have to be built, and maybe more importantly, these buildings right here are all just level 1. As we start building up this town, I will also be upgrading these, and slowly but surely, this village right here will emerge as our first proper urban center. Now in this video, that means that I will want to build up the manor. There is of course a lot that we will have to do here. I think I will be redrawing the fence that we have right here. Other than that, I will also go on and actually create fields all the way over here. I'm not too sure whether we can actually turn this efficient basically ever. I got the feeling that the kind of farmers are just doing whatever they want. It seems as though they do the plowing and the harvesting together, so wherever you are, completely independent of what your work area is, you will go wherever you have to be as far as plowing and harvesting is concerned. So I'm not sure that we can really optimize this. I think I'm just going to put down more and more farmhouses as we go, and after that, you know what, maybe it is actually time that we claim one of our enemies' provinces. I would kind of like Waldbrand, entirely because this berry deposit right here sounds amazing, but we'll see. For the time being, let me actually just set up this market differently right here. We have a split market, I want to experiment with this. If we emerge from this saying, hey, this really didn't look good, then so be it, but you gotta try it at least once, right? And now with that in mind, I'm also thinking, how do I make it so that this market actually has the same orientation as this one? I don't think I can make that happen. That was my main problem right here. I don't know whether that is even possible, but I do kind of like the stalls in this fashion, right? Where they are relatively straight here. Let me experiment with this a little bit. I think what we're going to do is, we're going to keep it... Oh my god, the snapping, I hate this so much. I need an assistance road right here. I think I'm going to make this market slightly smaller than we initially intended right here, so that we can get a relatively straight set of stalls here. 30 stalls. Oh god, it's not... Oh, there you go. I like this. 27. Okay. 28. 44. You know what? This looks very promising. I'm going to get rid of that well. We're going to move this well. That's completely okay. And then we're going to indeed put down the market in this entire square to get something that looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing. They need to get rid of this thing, and then we can do it. Now, up here, in response to me moving this, I think I'm going to place down another house. I think we're going to, if possible, make it so. And apparently it's not possible at all. Ooh, I dislike that. I really do. You know what? I might actually just redraw this road right here. I don't know whether I love exactly how that road came out. So this gets rid of this entire road. Obviously, I want to maintain the character of what we already had here, right? I want this road to run roughly like this. Except I think what we're going to do differently now, we're going to make the manor location slightly smaller and less round. We're going to keep it basically here in this same vein, right? But then we're going to keep a road like this one. So I'm going to cut in like this so that the manor will actually only claim this general area rather than this entire area. We're still going to, of course, you know, put some buildings inside, just some stuff so that it looks nice. But this will allow me to create an even more interesting city center. I like this replanning, you know, where we have to go, okay, you know what, I put this down and I liked it at the time, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's not exactly where I want to be. I like it because it kind of like, it's the spirit of the game, right? I've been watching a lot of City Skylines 2 YouTubers lately. It's really the only thing that I watch on YouTube for the time being. And the way they replan that stuff... Ooh, look at this. I don't know whether I might just redraw the entire market here, just do it one square. Honestly, the experiment that we had here, it's kind of failed. I'm not too in love with the middle road there. Okay, but anyway, listen, what we're looking at here is we're going to replan this. This will become the manor, and this right here will all become housing, making it so that we should have a nice housing front that, well, very deliberately, of course, makes it clear that this is the central plaza in our particular village here. I think we're going to do it like this. Let me test whether I can't frame this now. Oh my god, are you serious? I can put a tiny house. Okay, well... Maybe I'm going to put this in there. You know, just looking at this, we're going to have more houses right here. We're going to have this house right there. I think we're going to try this. If it doesn't work, I can always just tear it down going forward as well. Right, and to finish off our changes here, we're basically just going to draw this up there. Then we're going to have some new houses. We have so much timber. I'm saving that timber, of course, for our manor, but hey, you know, we can use it for something else every now and again. If we might... Oh, I don't like the way this comes out. I don't think I like the way this comes out. Can I make this more pleasant somehow? All right, we're just going to draw this path after we have drawn these houses here. Oh, yeah, okay. I think this is much more along the lines of what we want here. And then we're going to start drawing a path. We're going to lead it basically alongside here and then into the manor. That is where it is going to go anyway. Yeah, a road behind these houses. Cutting in right here. There you go. Boom. We've done it. Looks a bit odd there. I'm going to clean that up as we go. Man, I'm making this manor location smaller and smaller. Kind of insulting, but you know what? That's not my problem. And then, of course, we're going to have some houses here as well. When I'm at the market, I would like the houses to essentially look towards the market, just because that tends to look the best. Oh, yeah, that looks nice. That looks so interesting. How the shapes here change. So we're going to put it down exactly like this, then lead this road in the back. And that should give us a pretty good result here that previously I wasn't too happy with. All right, and now let's redo the castle right here. Let's just get rid of all of this. I just want to see where we can end up. Does this actually do anything? The construction cost isn't going down. I can't help but notice. I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, let's take down these walls if I may. But I'm not sure. Oh, now it works. Okay, no, sorry. We can actually do it now. I was unable to do anything about the fence until just now. So, you know what? Problem fixed. We can just get rid of this and redraw it. Alright, and speaking of redrawing, what are we going to do here? I think I might be moving the manor just very slightly, ever so slightly. I want this roughly here in the center, right? You come from down here, you see the manor, you can at least feel where it will be. Then we're going to place the garrison tower obviously next to it, and I can't apparently do that. I think I need to like go in and out of the castle planner all the time so that snapping is re-enabled. It's a bit weird here. It currently snaps to where the thing is rather than where we want it to be. What? Man, rebuilding the manor is one of the most costly and annoying processes in this entire game. But hey, that is why it is early access at the end of the day. Now, anyway, before we do move on, we need to place down this yet again. We've taken, of course, the well of this village. I think I'm actually going to rip this one out. This one is too small to matter. I'm going to redraw this entire thing. This is kind of really odd to me. What we're going to do here... Is somebody already living in here? Oh, I already paid for the goat shed. Oh, well. We're going to rip those out, and then we're going to put the well and a couple of houses in roughly this area. I think that should come out nicely. You can see it right here when you come from the market. These will all be level 3, right? And they need to be looking a bit impressive at the very least. And I think we can actually now place the... There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this looks good. I like these market stalls. Maybe I can get them... Oh, I saw it. Where was it? Give me... There we go. We're going to go with this one. This looks perfectly fine. I love it. Now, while they are building this, we are also building some houses right here. These are the outskirts. They become generally quite a bit larger over here, right? We can make them a bit longer. We can make it so that it's just one farmhouse. This is essentially just the outskirts of our town here. And then we want to transition the whole thing into pastures and fields. That is the idea anyway. And I'm thinking we're going to go for a model here again, where we will have some normal houses combined with a farmhouse, and then that makes up this, you know, kind of pasture right there. Obviously, I think most of the people working in the farmhouses right here will be coming from this town, but it would be nice if we have some local, you know, some actual living presence there, rather than just the work farmhouses. Now, this will be different from what we did here. This is the Rundweiler. This is one proper community. It will also be different from what we had here. We've already done this in the other playthrough, where we... I believe it was right over here in... Was it Eichenau? No, it was actually in Immelreuth, where we had some, you know, just individual lone farmsteads in these general areas. And we're going to redo this right here. My idea is that this will, you know, thanks to looking a bit more isolated, since it will have just very sparsely populated communities, maybe this will make it so that this will give it the right appeal here. When we have this very dense settlement over there, it gives you a bit of a contrast there, despite, of course, then also being settled. So, that means I want some rough roads. Where is our actual waterways? What are we doing there here? Let's take a look at where the well should go. Oh my god, this is it. Are you for real? That's crazy. There are no wells here. You're gonna have a terrible time. Wow. I mean, you have this river right here, you know? So what we're gonna do, I think, is I'm going to plant down a couple of houses. Man, that is crazy that I can't put this here at the river, and that the river doesn't count for anything. Surely, eventually, that has to play a big role there. I'm gonna start, actually, right here, I think. This looks... You walk up here, right? You see a lone farmstead. I want to make this relatively wide. Obviously, ideally, you make them long rather than wide, but I'm going to make them pretty wide, just because I think that looks a bit more interesting as an isolated farmstead. I might even Maybe I might even experiment with something like this. This is just a single building. That is just one, actually it's 2 families that will be living there. Then I'm going to be placing down some more buildings. Roughly like this. I'm going to make them just as wide. I don't think we want more than like 4 buildings. That will be one full farmhouse, you know, staffed. And then the other farmhouse will be staffed by the city population. So where are we going to put the rest? This looks like it would be a popular spot for a field or a pasture. I think what we're going to be doing here is, if at all possible, yeah, I like that. Okay, we're going to put you down right here. Again, I'm doing something a bit chaotic here. We're going to see what it turns out to. Sometimes you just got to experiment. Can't really avoid that sometimes. And then we're going to put one, I think, down here by the river. Now I just need to see. This is relatively steep, all things considered. Yeah, it is. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to even move you away from the main road. There we go. So that we just have a cute little path leading into this. And then we can decide where to go from there. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 different houses now here. It's not going to become any more. Which means next up are our farmhouses. We need farmhouses, of course, to actually run this. I want 2 in this location. And maybe later 3. But like I said, there seem to be some allocation issues. So I'm not too concerned about optimization here because I don't think it can be done. I don't think there's much that we really can achieve here. I'm going to place you down. This is, I think, perfect. In this corner right there. This will be staffed by these folks. And then maybe one right here. I'm actually going to place it. I think this is perfect. Okay. And now, here comes the time where I will try to explore how to place these fields. Let's take a look, okay? And I'm going to actually unpause it because I want people to start working on this stuff. Do we want this settled? We could put a tavern here, a trade post. I don't think we want this full of fields. I do think having a field actually run up like this sounds like a perfect entry point for me. I would like a pasture and maybe even a sheep farm. Very close in this region as well. I'm going to put the sheep farm maybe somewhere here. Oh, is it too steep? Oh, that's interesting. It's too steep for the... Wait, no, it's not. Okay, anyway, I'm going to place it here. Not sure what that was all about. And then I'm going to put a pasture roughly here. Where do we place the rest of the fields? I want one for sure down here. This just looks perfect, right? You have 1 or 2 fields running alongside this house. I'm going to make them relatively thin. Obviously, this is still 0.8 Morgan. But we're going to run this along this lone farmstead building. There we go. I will also say the fertility here isn't actually great. We have some flax up there. Barley over here. Oh, this is a great barley spot. You know, maybe we need even more fields right here. We'll figure this out, okay? I'm actually going to move this sheep farm, I think. Yeah, let's get this somewhere. Let's put this somewhere else. I think the sheep farm, for starters, can go roughly there. Which now makes it so that we can have more fields in this area. Make this one slightly less wide. We're going to maybe look at one more pasture in this area. It seems to have some issues selecting this sometimes, but we're going to do another pasture right there, and then we shall lead up a road to really reach this building here, for example. We're going to connect this in here as well. This is very, very steep, so I'm going to ignore this and instead lead in, let's say, right here. There we go. And that then means that we can place another field right over here. Maybe I'm overdoing it, but hey, it's mostly for the aesthetics. This location is just giving me absolutely nothing in terms of farming. I'm going to place another sheep farm, I think, right here. Another pasture, I should say. I don't think we're going to pick up the perk in this region where our sheep can multiply, where our sheep can be on the farms. I don't think that is going to be a thing for us. So we need plenty of pasture space for when we actually get those sheep. And you know, what about a relatively small field? Right over here as well. Can we put that in there? 0.4 Morgan. That's completely acceptable. Maybe one here. That is going to be our initial planning. Let's let them build stuff. I might get rid of a couple of fields. Maybe even of this one. Honestly, this one is so fat. Let's just abandon this. We can place some buildings there. Right, yeah, and there you go. This looks pretty big. I might even split these further. Listen, you know how I am. I am not, you know, beyond splitting this. I think in general only this one and this one may get split. But anyway, that's not really the point. We're just gonna see what these look like built up, and then we will go from there. Alright, and while we are here, I'm going to go ahead and basically... I think some more eggs would be good. We definitely need more hides as well. You can see we're running low on the hides. I'm going to put the chicken coop here roughly in the center. Or actually, that's the opposite of what I want to do. Because the center will, of course, mostly become our artisans, right? So me placing down backyard improvements there is me just wasting money. What's the point of that? I think we've already improved most, if not all of these. You can be improved, that's okay. And we're going to give you that one right there. All of these can be improved. I'm going to go around and do this, but I think ultimately it will, of course, be worth it. Because this will produce so many resources for us that previously we didn't have access to. It should balance out our food. At least I hope that it will. We'll see how it goes. All right, now let's place down the... where is it? Let's place down the well. I think we're going to do this right here, opposite of the... could do it right here, actually, and maybe... Okay, we got to get lucky. Let's see how this works out, okay? If I put you down right here... Okay, I like that. I actually like this. This is a central front directly to the market right here. Pretty big, and we will have a fence in this general location also. And it might even allow me now... Ah, not quite. Okay, well, good try. All right, now let's take another stab at our manor here. This is the biggest worry element of mine. Because I'm not sure whether this move of this manor was even worth it. Just judging by how we're doing right here. If we do it like this, right? It's very much... It's not round, but I think that is okay. Like, I'm looking at this now, right? Let's get rid of these. Let's press close for the time being. Okay. These costs are acceptable. Oh, you don't snap? No, you do. Oh, but you don't snap there. Oh. Interesting. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think this looks completely acceptable, right? Why is the mana entry spot still there? You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna ignore this. I clearly bugged something out here, but I think what we have reached here now looks okay. We have this entry point for the manor, right? It comes from all the way down here. Obviously, this path doesn't lead in directly. Now that I look at it, probably actually want to move this anyway. So rather than having this path, you would have the path come in right here. It's got to get it aligned and then end up over there. From there, we're going to take the tax office. I'm probably going to place it inside of the actual thing right there. And then we're going to place down the garrison tower that refuses to snap to the correct building. What are you snapping to? It's still snapping to the old building. Oh my god. Okay, that's not good. That is not good at all. I'm going to place you manually like this. Okay, you know what? I think we got it. I think we figured it out. What does this look like now? I need more stone. Does this look okay? Yeah, that looks fine. Okay. I need more stone. I need more everything, basically. But the stone is the only thing that we don't produce here. So that means we will import it, and then we are good to go. I think this will be the final manor design. Lock it in. See, this is exactly what I mean. When harvesting season comes along, they just go, I think it's just based on what field was where first and what the priority is. Which means they globally do a pilgrimage up here to harvest these fields, which means they ignore their own fields. I don't think at all that we are currently in a position where, hey, we've overdone it. These farmhouses can't take care of these fields down here. No, I think it's the opposite. I think they totally can. It's just, for some reason, only a couple of them stay back to actually do it, and the rest migrates up there. It's a bit weird, okay? You gotta take it as it is. As long as we harvest enough to feed ourselves, no big deal. Doesn't matter. Alright, and now with this livestock trader here, we're going to start importing lambs. They are much cheaper than sheep, and, well, they will grow into being sheep, so that should be fine. We're going to start importing them until we have an overflow of 10, which is basically never. It's just we're going to start taking care of them, right? And then once that is done, we have a proper sheep economy. Alright, and now let's take a look at how this comes out. Let's hope that it all works, that there's no errors, and that we will come out with something beautiful here. Can I actually... Let's have this road right there. That's completely fine. We might even do... No, you know what? I like one entrance. We could maybe do two. That is, I think, most of what I can justify. And even then, it's like, it's kind of tough to get this right here. Just the wall behaves somewhat erratically. You know what? Let's try to not do that. You know what? I'm just gonna... I'm not gonna do that. Let's just commit. Alright, now we're gonna start upgrading all of these. Exclusively, at least for the time being, around this particular location here. So around the marketplace. We just want to get these to level 3, if at all possible, as soon as possible. But obviously level 2 is where we need to start. So yeah, let's get them there. Yeah, it takes them some time now. These sheep, or well, these lambs are slowly but surely growing up. And eventually, of course, They will become a huge boon to our economy, will allow me actually to produce different types of clothing, which is currently one of our bottlenecks. We're looking at a situation where people are very frustrated over the stuff they can wear. Hell, why don't you stop complaining? Obviously, I also need to get rid of this shrubbery right here. You can see we have not yet started working on these fields. We have all this stuff just lying around, but let's take a quick look at this. I like the way this came out. I think with how dense we are settling this region, and somebody pointed this out in the comments, and I do at least partially agree. They basically said, I think you're settling this too densely. You're meant to like put these different villages into different tiles, and I agree kind of. It's just a consequence of, you know, where we are with how aggressive the AI is in this patch. Obviously, I know that this is no longer the case in the beta, but when we started, I was essentially set to create these type of villages, you know, in just one tile. And I think what we have now done here, where we have this massive agriculture going on, but it is all just being maintained by these tiny farmsteads, I think we have really hit the right character. This looks good to me. You can see in the distance, these are unsettled territories there, obviously. We're still looking at untamed territories, very much territories that I want to explore. Oh man, this elevation difference here is incredible. Look at that, that is massive. Yeah, we've built these, they will live on their own, of course, but I mean, look at this. They look so far away from the hustle and bustle. You know, the very active town over there. I think the character here most certainly is exactly going into the right direction. You know, I'm getting the feeling that these lambs, unless you have the perk, actually never grow up. So that means me buying them is pretty useless, and we're just gonna start buying the, where is it? There it is. We're gonna start buying proper sheep. It just doesn't seem to function. Maybe it will function eventually. Let's say we want to go to, you know what? Let's be a bit more extreme. Let's go for 30 sheep here. Just for starters. And finally, there we go. The manor has been completed, and now they can actually finish upgrading all these houses. You can see that I pushed a lot of these houses to level 2, and yet, of course, they are not finished because so many of the workers were just constantly busy. We're going to make this city center into something to be proud of, and I think we're on a really good path. We are, before long, even going to upgrade all of these houses right here. Oh, and we definitely need to get rid of this. What the hell is this? Who okayed this building? Get this out of here. Put a new one down. And look at that. Just one more fight. Like I said, we don't even need to show this. We're gonna win. Don't worry about it, okay? Alright, folks, and now it is time that we upgrade whatever building we can upgrade here. I would like to have this entirety, right, everything around this be level 3. Whether we can do that in one fell swoop or not, that's, I mean, honestly, I don't know. That's beyond me. Doesn't really matter. Oh, look at that. We are running out of timber. The point here being, I want to frame this rather nicely, and then we're going to move into the different region. We're going to move into Zweio in the next video here, because we want to have a proper iron and clay economy, and we can build a different village right there. But take a look at that. We are now actually building this into a city right here, and I gotta admit that I'm impressed by myself, okay? If I dare be so bold right there, I actually like the way this came out. I was kind of hesitant up here, but ultimately I think this slots in nicely. You even have this direct pathway to the manor, right? This connects directly into Waldbrand down there, and then here to the main road as well. And now as we upgrade it, I can only hope that this looks relatively impressive while keeping the very rural character when we look at it from a distance. But look at that. I even now think this is probably going to pan out. You can see that that is civilization over there without it really feeling oppressive. Oh, and there you go indeed. We now have gotten another development point. And now that's a bit of a weird one here. Huh? What do you do? What do you actually pick here? I feel like heavy plow should be okay. I have heard that there might be some bugs related to this. I think I'm going to save this. I want to see in the comments if anybody has any other ideas. Obviously, we are going to get another point relatively soon, just because we are now mass upgrading these houses right here. But my point ultimately being, will heavy plow make it worse? The entire field management here, like I said, it's very far from optimal. They really ultimately fail to harvest virtually all of it entirely because they're really bad at it. They walk up and they don't have a good time, right? But I don't know whether the oxen are gonna make that better or worse. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep upgrading here, because I want to get this done before the end of this video so that I can then, completely ignore this in the video thereafter, when we are actually moving into Zweio. Alright folks, let's take stock. We are here in the very far side. I've actually placed down, is it? I don't think it's that one. I think it's further down there. I've placed down a tannery downstream along the river. I think that is definitely in line with what we're expecting there. And look at that. You can feel that there's civilization there. but yet there is so much emptiness right here. I think this came out really well. Now, if we take a look at this from the other side, and I need to find out where I am. I'm in the Rundling right here. This is from the inside the Rundling, and you can see even here, you can smell it, but you can't really see the city. I think we have a great isolation. I kept some planters right here the whole time, and you can see they actually put down a couple of trees, so that's very, very nice. But we still definitely have a feeling of isolation here as well. Now, if we go into the actual city, take a look at that. I have mostly focused on building these up next to the market square. And if we actually put ourselves into this position, they look incredibly imposing because of the way the valley works right here. My hair looks kind of weird, doesn't it? Anyway, we are in a great position when it comes to the visuals. I think we really lucked out here. I wasn't too sure whether this was going to work out perfectly, you know, while I was building it, but I really do like the way this came together. I've made it so that the level 3 houses are only in the center. If we then go further and further out, you can see it goes down to level 2, then level 1, and only then does the city end. We have created a village, a town, that is now at 3 open perk points. You let me know what you think we should get here. I'm thinking heavy plow. Maybe, and this is a big maybe forest management, although I'm kind of more inclined towards beekeeping and advanced beekeeping. I should also mention that bakeries is probably what I should be going for here, just because we are so, you know, very much rural-minded. But in general, I mean, heavy plow is a must-have. The rest, I'm not too sure. You let me know what we should be doing here. Sheep breeding could definitely also help us, but anyway, we are in a great position, and I can now actually leave this alone, and we're going to expand going forward. However, before we do that, I think now is the time that I also challenge the fella here for Waldbrand. There's no particular reason why I would want this region, but, you know, it's better than nothing, and I slowly but surely do have to push him back, so this is definitely in our interest. Let's hire these mercenaries here as well. I wish we had more, but hey, it is what it is. The big question is, are we going to, like, stumble into a bit of a weird fight as he marches towards this territory? Because if we do, then, well, that, you know, it will just get a bit nasty, a bit dirty here. It all depends on where he spawns in ultimately, but yeah, I think we are going to defeat him right here to round off this video. Look at that, he spawned in over here. This doesn't look all too threatening. Unless he brings even more troops from somewhere else, I think we're going to have this. It is a bit boring, of course, because we only have melee units, but I mean, yeah, welcome to how this works. Where's the battlefield, by the way? It's right over there. That is a great position. I really do like that. Oh, and check this out. I can make it worthwhile if you drop all your claims. Sorry, pal, but I don't think so. I think you are going to perish. We have a great army. You can see that I have also, if they are indeed here, yeah, there they are. I have built up our retinue. We're now 24. Many of them already now have the full plate armor. We're looking good. All right, and so the battle begins. Our archers, of course, arrived first. I told them to run. That's completely fine. They are the cannon fodder here. There's not really anything more to it. We're just going to make sure that we can win under these conditions. They are going around with the archers. The AI really likes to do this. They like 1 or 2 units to circle, which maybe, now that I think about it, this may be something that the developer already put in for future purposes, you know, when it comes to cavalry and that kind of stuff. But right now, obviously, it is kind of useless. Anyway, we are preparing just our archers to get confronted here. In the meantime, we're going to circle around. I'm going to bring you around. You just reinforce the archers right here. And then we fall into your back. There you go. That's what I like to see. What are you doing here? What is this? Can we get rid of these archers with the retinue? I think the retinue may be too slow. You know what? Come back. We're going to take out the melee units first. That is probably the most important element here anyway. How are we doing? Currently, we have lost 1 archer, or one of our main units, I mean. Our archers are, well, not doing so well, but, I mean, what can you expect, right? This is a bloody battle. Our very first aggressive battle, actually. And look at that. Yeah, they are fleeing left and right. They're getting broken. Oh, is it actually over? Oh, I start walking in as we have defeated them. Jesus Christ, that was fast. We didn't lose anybody, really. I do need to keep track. I'm not actually sure how many of these folks right here currently are in, are using gambazons and helmets and all that stuff, but it's obviously going well. I mean, look at them running here. Yeah, this is done. This is all. We just gotta catch him. What was that? Excuse me? Just gotta catch him and then it's over. Let's hope that we can. There you go. And it's done. Waldbrand is ours. Our very first expansion has taken place. And in the next video, we're going to found a new settlement right here in Zweiau. Wonderful.